Okay, so before we get into today's episode, because this is literally the same day from when y'all saw the last episode, because I'm batch recording. Oh, wait, hold on. Can you even hear me? Sorry, I did not realize nobody could hear me because my mic was like way over there. Anyways, so I am batch recording today because I want you guys to consistently have videos, and it's helping me a lot, like managing everything. So I literally just took like a break. I filmed another video and then I'm coming back to Desperate Housewives. So when you guys saw that last video, this is literally not that long after I recorded the last one. Anyways, but I'm also going to be eating because I really want to work today. I want to get a lot of work done, but also I need to eat. I'm so hungry. So I'm going to try to keep the chewing to like a minimum and make sure that you guys are able to hear me clearly. I mean, like, I'm going to make sure that you guys can hear me clearly. I'm not going to not chew. How am I going to eat? All right, let's just begin. Yeah, bro loves TV. Yes, I made a theme song so that I can talk about all my favorite shows. Oh, yeah. And this is just your disclaimer that this is not me talking about any of the actors themselves, but more so their characters. Please do not attack me in the comments. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, even those who disagree with me. But let's keep it friendly. All right, let's get started with the show. Oh, and in case you guys want to know what it is I'm eating, it's just salad. Salad with chicken thighs. I bought chicken thighs separately and then I put them in the air fryer and cut them up and stuff. I seasoned them, in case anybody even gives a fuck, but I seasoned them with, it's like some kind of chicken seasoning they sell, I think, at Walmart. I put garlic salt on them, black pepper. I don't remember what else I seasoned them with. I kind of like just, first of all, when I season food, I don't have like a specific formula. I just kind of season, I go with my gut, literally. And so I don't have a specific formula, but, and honestly, I just, even with the seasonings, it'd be like, I kind of just go with what I'm comfortable with. It's not like I'm like, okay, so this time I never make that decision till I'm literally already pouring seasoning on my food. Maybe that's not the best thing, I don't know, but that's what I do. Okay, anyways, guys, sorry.
So far out of your league that you're playing a completely different sport.
Yo. Sorry, y'all. Hopefully I won't be eating the entire episode. So the episode starts off with Mike asking Susan to move in. Edie ends up coming over and she tells Edie that basically give it up because they're together now. If you have not had a chance to check out the last episode in this installment, please check it out on my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Gabby's outside talking to John's friend. I think his name is Justin. And he's working on their lawn. And she ends up slapping him because he tells her that she's an unfeeling. Obviously, she don't like that. So she slaps him. And then Carlos sees her slap him. And he's like, why'd you slap him? And then he's like, oh, if you would have seen what he done to our begonias, you would have slapped him too. But I don't think Carlos believed that. Lynette shows up to Tom's job with a cake for one of Tom's co-workers because he had a heart attack and it's supposed to be his first day back at work. But then they get a call saying that he will not be returning to work today. And they put Annabelle in charge of one of the other accounts, I guess, that he had. And she's like, oh, I don't want to travel alone. The boss is like, oh, go pick somebody to go with you. And of course, naturally, she picks Tom, the guy with 4 kids.
Hurry up, there are people waiting.
One more minute.
Does he have a... Is his pencil pointing north?
Get rid of it, there are children present. Think of something unpleasant, like famine or disease or hobos.
Like famine or disease or hobos. George said, oh, so you're ending our friendship after everything I've done for you? And what he was talking about was the fact that he's been secretly poisoning Rex this entire time.
I think she and Mike are moving a little fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 2 days ago she was thinking he was a murderer, and now she's
Exactly. That's the point. I was literally just thinking, I was like, they are moving kind of fast. And then on top of that, she didn't even ask Julie how she felt about it. Well, I guess Julie would be fine with it. But still. So Edie starts walking around the table and she's like, wait a minute. They're moving in together, but then we never got any answers about that self-inflicted gun wound. And what about the jewelry in his garage? And what about this? And what about that? And she's clearly being manipulative because she wants Susan and Mike to break up so that she can move in on him. And so then the girls start being like, well, that is a good point that we didn't get answers to all this other stuff. So, and then they're like, I just realized I left the lemonade in the car. I thought about it when I saw Lynette's drink on the table. Anyways, so they're just like, yo, yeah, we never got answers to all that stuff. And so then Bree is like, well, maybe we should sit her down and share our concerns. And then Edie is like, yeah, maybe. And then, of course, she naturally asks her, does she want to help them do it? And then she's like, I guess. They were putty in her hands. Edie, you manipulative shrew. Okay, maybe shrew was a stretch. But still. That was really smart of her, I have to say. That was so smart. I'm almost finished eating, by the way, guys. So hopefully there'll be less of this and more of just talking. Anyways, so Zach gets a letter from Paul that he drops off, basically explaining his disappearance and telling him that, you know, he thinks that he needs help and, you know, he's going to get it. And he feels like he'll be better off left in the care of Felicia Tillman. And then inside of the box of stuff he gives him to supposedly like bring him comfort is a baseball mitt. And Zach gets really angry and he's like, why would I find comfort in this junk? He knows I don't even like baseball. You'd think he would know that much about me. He's mad because he feels like betrayed by him and whatever. And so then Felicia Tillman sits there for a second and she's like, wait a freaking minute. Why would he give him that if he knows he doesn't like baseball? So she starts feeling through the glove, and inside, hidden in the glove, is a note from Paul telling Zach to meet him at the baseball field, meaning that he's really trying to run off with Zach regardless of what he agreed to with Felicia Tillman in the last episode. Y'all. All right, guys, so I'm officially done eating, so there should be no more interruptions. But I am drinking coffee, so yeah. Edie's sitting there listening to Susan go on and on about how she wants to go with the wind and she wants to just be with Mike and go based off of her feeling of happiness. And then Edie's looking across like, oh crap, it's not working.
This is the worst intervention I've ever been to.
So Lynette meets up with, I'm assuming it's her previous boss or somebody that works at the place where Tom works. Because, I mean, how else would they be having this conversation? So she meets up with this lady and she's trying to pitch Tom to encourage her to pull Tom into, I guess, the level where she's at. And the lady's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling Tom. I really need somebody like you. Like, if you want to come back, girl, you just say the word. I got you. And she's like, yeah, I'm not looking to come back. But I do have somebody else in mind. And who is she talking about, ladies and gentlemen? She's obviously talking about Annabelle. That smile. That smile that George just had.
If I did know where Mr. Young was, why would I tell you?
I love this character. I love this character.
You know where Paul Young is?
I'm afraid not, but I know where he'll be on Thursday night.
So Felicia Tillman and Mike get together to talk about what she knows about Paul Young and to share the fact that she also feels like Paul was behind the death of Martha and that it mixes in with Mike being framed. So like the pieces are just starting to come together, like where Mike is starting to learn more and more about how he ties in, like how everybody is all connected. The only issue though is that Susan literally just a few scenes ago, she was like saying how she wanted Mike to leave all this stuff behind and he's obviously not, and he's obviously lying. So I just feel like that's gonna come up sooner than later. Okay, so I don't really know what happened to the end of that video. It just literally, I went to go edit it so that it would be up in time, and then nothing was there. It just like 27 minutes in, it just stopped. So luckily, also what happened is I don't remember the ending of this episode, but I know I didn't hit pause. Whatever. I'm finna just re-record it and we're just gonna move on.
What's going on?
I just want to say goodbye because I'm leaving you. Apparently, our policy doesn't cover drugs bought by the kilo. And Juanita was in a coma when this claim was filed. You did this, not your mother. Just be man enough to own up to it. She would have been.
By the way, I forgot to say this, but this literally debunks my theory that I had in the last episode where I was saying that Gabby knew the whole time.
This baby needs its mother and its father.
Whoever said you were the father?
Just to be clear, when I first saw this, I was way more like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I couldn't believe that she said that. I was like literally screaming. Now it's kind of died down a little because I know how this plays out. But Carlos steals Edie's car to go chase down Gabrielle, and he thinks that she's sleeping with Justin, the guy that they hired to mow the lawn, who was like, you know, I think I need to sleep with you because I might be gay. That guy, he thinks that he's the one that she's sleeping with, and he goes to beat him up and he gets arrested because obviously he's violated his parole. And that was another thing it didn't even dawn on me because I could not believe Gabrielle said that like I didn't realize when he got into the car and stole the car, he was violating his house arrest. So it seems that they got rid of Annabelle this way because she becomes vice president of the firm that Tom works at. I think he works at a firm. Honestly, now I'm a little confused. And when I first saw this scene, I thought he was mad because it was like, you know, my bestie Annabelle, or like this girl that I maybe have feelings for. I thought he was mad because she was being promoted and it meant he wasn't going to be able to see her as much. No, that's not why he was mad. He was mad because he feels like he's gotten passed up twice for an opportunity to advance in the company. And then his boss reveals to him that the reason why, after he literally says he's going to quit because he hates the way that his boss is running things, he doesn't know what he's doing. He talks so much to his boss about the way that he's running the company, and then he ends up getting fired even though he was originally going to quit because he felt like he was being overlooked. And also, back to Carlos, Justin ends up telling the cops that he's gay, and so this is about to fall under another time that Carlos has attacked someone in the community. And so it looks like he's a gay basher or a serial gay attacker. I know that ain't the word. Okay, yeah. Bree runs into George. I'm kind of speeding through this, guys. You know how it goes when I think that I've been recording it. You already know the story. I don't need to go on and on with it. But anyway, so Bree runs into George at the supermarket, which he's not supposed to be on that side of town, but he claims that he's visiting a friend in the hospital. He tells her that while he was at the hospital, I think in the lobby, waiting room, whatever, just around the hospital, he overhears two doctors talking about what Bree and Rex like to do in the bedroom. So it's to give Bree the impression that he's been blabbing, even though what really happened was he obviously broke into their house and found that box of their novelty items. Susan gets into Mike's car. As she's pulling out a box, she finds Martha Huber's diary.
If you don't trust him, why are you moving in with him?
And this was one of the points that I had.
I don't have time to explain adult relationships to you.
But you have time to take her on a stakeout to see what Mike is up to instead of just asking him directly. So Susan and Julie are doing like a stakeout, and they plan to follow Mike to see where he's really going because Susan suspects that he's not going for a plumbing job after she found the diary. So they're following behind what they think is Mike's truck, but obviously they've lost him because when Susan ends up going up to the truck and opening the door, it's a couple who's obviously having an affair.
Was that your wife?
That was my wife. Do you think I'd be here with you?
Carlos admits to Gabby that he was the one that attacked their cable guy way back when, early in the season, because he thought that Gabrielle was cheating on him.
You were pretending to have an affair just to punish me.
Well, obviously. Because of your little stunt with my birth control pills, I've lost my freedom for the next 18 years.
So Paul is out here thinking that he's going to meet up with Zach because of the note that he put into the baseball glove. Instead, Mike shows up. Rex wakes up and Bree's sitting by the window and he's looking over like, why are you up? You know, what's going on? And so she's in this thing where she's like, the worst thing I ever did was marry you and blah, blah. And she reveals to him that people know about what they've been doing in the bedroom, even though nobody knows anything. It's just she thinks that people know because George told her. And she doesn't reveal to him that George is the one that told her that. So while they're in the middle of their argument, all of a sudden Rex starts having a heart attack. Instead of Bree taking him to the hospital immediately, she is making up the bed and kind of taking her precious time. I feel like she was disassociating, but also I was interested to hear, what do you guys think about why she didn't rush off to the hospital? I personally feel like she was just disassociating. And then this family shows up. And a point that I was making when I originally was recording for this episode is that I feel like they had already started this thing. Like at the end of every single season, a new family shows up with new secrets, and then they kind of unpack those secrets throughout the season, the same way that they have with Paul and Mary Alice and that whole thing. But you know what didn't dawn on me, which is so obvious now, is that this had already happened. It's just that by the time we jumped into the show, it was at like the climax when Mary Alice killed herself. But they were already the new family that was in town. Does that make sense? I feel like that's only gonna make sense to certain people. But like, we were already experiencing a new family shows up, and then this is what happens. Like, they hadn't lived in Wisteria Lane that entire time. They were the new family moving in. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, this family moves in the middle of the night with a U-Haul truck, or I don't even think that's U-Haul, but they move in the middle of the night, so that should tell you something's up off rip. But that wraps up this episode. I hate that this video is probably a lot shorter than the past videos, but don't worry, I'm actually filming this after I've already recorded the season finale, and the season finale, I believe, is pretty long. So I hope you guys will enjoy that, and I will see you guys next week in the last one. Guys, we are wrapping it up. The next episode is the last episode until we take our little hiatus on Desperate Housewives. But don't worry, there's more to come, and I think you guys will be excited for the next show that I'm going to talk about. I hope so. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.